Hello, everyone, and welcome to my life. So, on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about taking back your power and getting out of this victim mindset. So, the reason why I wanted to talk about this was because I recently realized that I don't take, or I didn't used to take ownership for the role that I played in my trauma and in my life. And go in, I'll dive deeper into that in a little bit, but yeah, so the whole idea behind this is I feel like everyone's had trauma in their lives, right? But the thing is, we give that trauma all of our power. Like, me personally, I was not abandoned, but I felt abandoned as a child because both my parents left um, and went to a different country. So I was feeling abandoned and like I was unwanted and unworthy and just like people would just keep leaving me, right? I carried that with me my entire life. And I let that affect how I felt about myself, affect how I felt about people, and what I thought would happen in every relationship I had in my life. Like I let it affect me up until now, kind of. Now is when I'm realizing like, whoa, it's like a a switch has been flipped, and I'm like, why? Like I'm in control here. Why did I let my trauma like have so much power over my life when I'm in control? I can literally stop it. I can literally just say and decide from now on, hey, you know what? I went through this. Yes, my dad left. Yes, my mom left, but guess what? I'm with my mom now again. She was only gone for 3 years. She came back. My dad, we're working on our relationship now. And it's like they didn't leave me. It wasn't my fault that they left. They didn't leave me because they hated me and they didn't want anything to do with me. It was just different circumstances. And it's like I have to change the story that I'm telling myself and look at it as a I'm not the victim here. I'm not a victim. I'm not going to let this affect me. I'm taking my power. I'm taking ownership of my life and I'm going to take responsibility for everything that I let happen. The whole them my parents leaving wasn't in my control at all, but how I went on to live my life after that is my fault because I would people please because I was afraid that like people wouldn't like me and would leave. I would do way too much for like in like romantic relationships and regular friendships and just any relationship. I would just do the most and just be extra. Like do the most as in like do everything that I could to please them, try my best not to like do anything that would make them hate me because I would think that I need them in my life and I wouldn't be okay if they left, which is a lie because I'm always going to be okay. I'm always going to pick myself back up like I've always done and I'm going to be fine like I always am. But it's this shift of being like, you know what? These things happened to me. I am aware that they happened. I acknowledge that they happened. Yes, they did hurt me. I know why they hurt me. I had a right to feel hurt. But I am in control here. So if I don't want that ish to affect me anymore, it won't. Because literally, your thoughts create your reality. What you think, you are. In my, what was it, philosophy class in college, freshman year, I forget who, I think it was Descartes that said, I think, therefore I am. And literally, you are what you think you are. Like, you can create any type of reality, any type of life you want for yourself. based off of the thoughts that you have. And that's a whole topic for a different episode, because today I just want to talk about this victim mindset. But yeah, it's just all about not taking responsibility for the role that you played in how your life played out because of the trauma that you went through. And obviously, like, different traumas affect you differently. Like, I'm not saying, like, oh, if I was, God forbid, if I was raped, right? And I'm not gonna blame myself for the consequences after it. Like, it is just a little bit different. I'm talking more, not more surface level, because trauma is trauma. If you think, you can't compare, because you don't know how it makes that person feel, the person that's affected by it. But I'm just saying, like, in certain situations, in most situations, you have to take responsibility for the role that you played in allowing that trauma to affect you for as long as it has. And the way I came to this realization was, I was listening to a podcast. I listened to a lot of podcasts while I was driving, and the podcaster, pretty sure it was a girl, she said, write a letter to everyone, or maybe it was a YouTube video, I don't know. Anyway, she said, write a letter to everyone that's hurt you as if you were giving them that letter. You don't have to give it to them if you don't want to. You could if you wanted to, and you can either keep that letter or destroy it. What I did was, it was a new moon, and I'm just now learning about, like, the power of the moon and the influences and what, like, each moon means, like a full moon versus a new moon. I have to cough. Okay, I'm back. But yeah, I was learning about, well, I am currently learning, just learning about, there's just so much. But it was a new moon, and I just wanted to, like, shed myself of dead weight in a way. Like, I just wanted to get rid of stuff. So I wrote letters to the people that have hurt me the most so far. And I wrote one for myself, because I have hurt myself a lot too. But I wrote that letter, and it started with, hey, this is what happened. Like, I listed out, I wrote it as if I was literally, like, giving it to that person. So I wrote it out. I said, this is what happened. This is how that situation has affected me in my life. This is the trauma that either you have caused me, or the situation that you were involved in caused me. And you know what? I forgive you for everything that you did. I'm not saying it was okay. I'm not saying it was all right, because it wasn't, but I do forgive you, because this is what I need to do so that I can learn to let go, so that I can evolve, and so I can detach. And then in that same letter, I also said, you know, it wasn't entirely your fault. It's not your fault that, one of them is for my uncle. This is the first time in my life that I'm calling him my uncle, and I'll just explain that later. But he's the guy from the last episode where I lived at his house with my aunt, and he was just very, 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 very emotionally abusive to my cousin and I. And so I hated him. I have never hated a person in my life, but I hated him. And I just had, like, so much resentment, and it's like, every time I would call my aunt, because they live together, they're married now, every time I would call her, he would, like, not get on the phone, but, like, he lives there, so he would be around, and I'd be like, ugh, I don't want to talk to him. Hey, how are you? Good, me too, okay, bye. It was always like that, because I still had, like, that resentment in me. It wasn't, like, as much as when I lived there, but I still resented him for everything that happened. So in that letter, I also said, the part about that I'm referring, like, talking about myself. In that letter that I wrote to him, I said, I, it's not entirely your fault because I held on to that hate and I let it affect me for longer than it should have. And it's like, I'm forgiving him for everything that he did, but I'm also forgiving myself for allowing that situation to affect me for way longer than it should have. And forgiving myself for not letting go sooner, and just giving myself grace and being like, you know what, I'm proud of you because you're doing it now. It's never too late. You're doing it now, and that's all that I can ask of you. So then I wrote that, and then I just wished him well. I said, you know what, I wish you nothing but good health, happiness, success, everything good that this life has to offer. I wish for you everything that I would wish for myself. Thank you for all the lessons. Thank you for, I don't even know. I don't fully remember everything that I wrote because this was like, what, a month ago now? Maybe a little over a month ago? Don't remember. And I wrote a letter to him, 2 other people, and then myself. And then I burned those letters. And I don't know why, but like physically seeing them burn was like me literally being like, this is like leaving my life now. Like I can let go of this now. I think I'm a very visual person. I'm pretty sure I am. So it was like just literally seeing those letters burn was like a weight lifted off. I felt lighter and better because I was like, you know what? I'm letting this go now. I'm not going to let it affect me anymore because I'm in control now. I'm taking my power back. And it's like, that's literally how it felt. Like a deep sigh. Like, no, that's not a sigh. That's a deep breath. Wow. It literally felt like a deep breath. Like I was just letting it all go. I felt lighter. I felt better. And a couple days ago, my mom's in Cape Verde. That's where I'm from. My mom's there visiting, just, on vacation. And she's staying at his house. His and my aunt's house. And I was on the phone with her because we talk every day still. Like I call her every day or she calls me. And he was there. And for the first time in my life, I was able to have a normal conversation with him. I didn't feel any feelings. Like I was just fine. Like I was normal. I didn't have any resentment. I didn't have any anger. I was just fine, as if I was talking to anybody else. And I was like, whoa, that is the first time ever in my life that has happened. And I can 100% tell you it's because of that ritual that I did and the letter that I wrote and burning the letter and everything. I can 100% tell you it's because of that. And it just felt so good. It felt so good to just see him and not have anything come up, or hear his name and not have anything come up, because it's just a waste of my energy to hold on to those feelings, hold on to that hate, hold on to that resentment, because what is it doing for me? Nothing. Literally nothing. It's just holding me back, not letting me heal from stuff, not letting me detach, not letting me move forward with my life and have better relationships with myself and other people, because I'm holding on to all this BS. I'm just holding on to stuff that I don't need to hold on to. And it's I'm slowly learning to let go, slowly learning to just let things be, let them happen, let them flow through me. The good, the bad, all of it. Just let it flow. Not hold on to anything. And it's a very, very, very slow process, but we're getting there. We're getting better. Just want to let you know, hang in there. If you are feeling how I described I used to feel in my previous episode. Just know it gets better. Hang in there. You will be okay. Everything will be okay. Everything happens for a reason. If you're going through a hard time now, it's because there's something better in store for you. And you need to go through this now so that you can be prepared for everything good that's going to happen to you. Or so that you can be prepared for the next chapter of your life. For the next thing that's going to happen. So just know, everything happens for a reason. The universe has your back. And you got this. See you next time.